How many of you have a certain goal, a dream that you wish to accomplish during your lifetime? The answer is every single one of us, regardless of who we are or what we do. These can range from wanting to scale the tallest mountain to simply going for a walk every afternoon. We're always pursuing a goal. The reason being, we believe that we will be happier upon achieving it. So, in a way, you could say we're pursuing happiness. As a student, my goal is similar to that of my peers, getting good grades on my tests. My grades had recently taken a hit, along with my pride. So, after a little introspection, I decided to come up with a plan, a simple plan, and it consisted of exactly one step: study more. I told myself from that day onwards I would be studying every single day until exam week rolled by. I wish I could tell you I was excited and motivated to begin studying, but I'd be lying. I wasn't able to focus. After a while, my eyes would just go over a page, but nothing actually registered in my head. I was demotivated and tired after less than a month with nothing to show for it. So, after a little more introspection, I realized what my main issue was. I couldn't cope with the fact that I wasn't instantly seeing results, hence why I was so unenthusiastic to begin with. I wasn't able to focus as much as I wanted to because I had never had to develop study habits previously. Back when I had just started school, around elementary, never once did I have to think twice about what I'd learned in class. I never had a need to. The tests we took seemed simpler then. The shift in difficulty occurred around middle school, although the decline in my grades only became noticeable after the corona pandemic. I still remember the first math test I took after online school. I was so confident walking into that classroom, so utterly sure of myself, just to find out later that I had, in fact, failed. It would be so much easier, so much better if we could just snap our fingers and instantly achieve whatever it is we desire. Just go straight from the classroom to the exam hall with a perfect report card to show by the end of it. But that isn't how the world really works. Hi, my name is Isha Tiani, and today I want to talk to you about the idea of instantaneous perfection and how it doesn't exist. One of the main reasons I wasn't able to achieve my goals as quickly as I wanted to was because I had been treating my journey, studying, as something that was weighing me down. I had to realize that if I couldn't find happiness in the journey, I wasn't going to be happy with the results that followed. Well, let's take a step back here. What do I mean by happiness? We all know what happiness is, and we've all experienced it, hopefully, more than once. It's an emotion triggered by a specific set of events that make us feel joy, such as scoring the winning goal in a football game, or, in my case, getting the perfect grade for a test you'd been anxious for. From a neurological point of view, happiness is when the brain releases large amounts of hormones in response to a specific event. For today's talk, the hormone we'll be focusing on is dopamine. When doing something that the brain finds enjoyable and wishes to repeat over and over again, it essentially rewards us by releasing large amounts of dopamine, hence why it's called the reward system. This will be important for later on. The release of dopamine happens fairly quickly. So, does that mean happiness is instantaneous? To help answer the question, let's discuss gratification. Now, there are two subtypes within gratification: instant and delayed. To help better understand this, I want to discuss with you the Stanford marshmallow experiment. I'll give a brief overview. In 1972, a group of children were put together and given a choice. They were seated in front of a single marshmallow and told they could either eat the marshmallow on the spot or wait 15 minutes without eating it, and receive a second marshmallow along with the first. The kids who instantly ate the marshmallow portrayed, as you can guess, instant gratification, as they chose to indulge themselves on the spot. The children who portrayed delayed gratification were the ones who resisted the initial temptation of eating the marshmallow in favor of being rewarded later on. When mentioning instant gratification, we can use social media as a prime example. Social media companies spend large sums of money in order to see exactly what makes their users click. They are designed to be fast and immediate in order to hold our attention for as long as possible, since they need to show us advertisements. And it works. When you post something on social media, say a picture, our brain thrives on the influx of gratification in the form of likes and comments. Instant gratification sends our reward system into a haywire. For our brain, it's like taking a bite of chocolate cake. Once the dopamine high ends, our brain once again craves that high, making us take that second bite, or in this case, makes us post again. And it's only become easier to achieve instant gratification since the introduction of reel content. These short videos, popularized by TikTok around 2019, are generally 30 to 60 seconds in length. Their short length and the overall fact that they're marketed towards our preferences lead to the effect of being insanely easy to scroll on for hours on end. Our focus is diminishing. That's a fact. And no wonder with how much content we're able to consume in such a short amount of time. We lose track of time so easily, and we aren't exactly satisfied even when we stop. It doesn't make us feel great about ourselves, but it does keep us entertained, even if only the moment. The minute the screen turns off, so does the enjoyment we thought we'd been having. It explains why I wasn't able to study as well as I wanted to. I had gotten so used to the effects of instant gratification, unable to focus on a single task without rewarding myself in any way. And let me get this straight, studying is not instantly gratifying. It is long and oftentimes boring. It is essential that we find a way to counteract the instant gratification we have become accustomed to. This can be done by implementing the aforementioned delayed gratification. It is, as the marshmallow children displayed, when a person mindfully works towards a goal in their future, even if that means not being happy in the present. As I was saying in the beginning, I wasn't completely sure if I even needed to go on this journey at all. What am I doing? I thought to myself. Is this really even worth it? Have I just been descending down an internet rabbit hole for the past hour with nothing to show for it? The answer to my dilemma came in the form of an interview with those marshmallow children years later. Those same children who had portrayed delayed gratification were more likely to be successful in their lives and careers later on. This interview in particular struck a chord with me. If this wasn't definitive proof that delayed gratification was the way to go about things, I don't know what could be. So, getting back to the point, I had been throwing at myself at studying with nothing to show for it. I couldn't just fling myself into studying like I'd done before. That hadn't gotten me anywhere. So, I took it slow. I decided to just study 15 minutes daily on a subject I wasn't particularly good at. I gave myself a month in advance and allocated myself specific breaks. The only catch was, I couldn't go on my phone during these breaks. And it worked. Without instant gratification right at my fingertips, I was able to focus on the task at hand. However, once I had actually developed a pattern of study habits, being able to stretch my 15 minutes eventually into 30, into 45 minutes, I did bring my phone back in for the breaks. Now, this may seem counterproductive, but it worked. Because realistically speaking, instant gratification surrounds us everywhere today. it would be foolish of us to assume that we could just cut it out with one action. We could, however, limit our dependence on it. We cannot become the perfect version of ourselves overnight. Like I've mentioned in the beginning, instantaneous perfection isn't real. When exam week rolled by, I was feeling sure of myself. And while my grades did improve, they weren't exactly what I was hoping for. But that's all right. Our goals do define us, yes, but they don't mean anything unless we actually try to achieve them. We actually try to grab for them. So, I'm going to keep up my journey until I finally reach my destination. Thank you for listening.